Hey, welcome into another afternoon of Tony talking trash about music. Today, I'm going to complete my original journey into psychedelic land, into the heart of Texas, in the 13th floor elevators, and give you my top 10 greatest 13th floor elevator tracks. Everybody knows how great the band was, and unfortunately, kind of ended in tragedy all the way around. I mean, Rocky, in the end, if you look at his redemption video that's out there that I've seen, everybody's seen. Uh, but the reports were he still had some demons. You see any kind of the interviews with him towards the end. He was certainly was not the same person he was when he started. But again, he seemed to be coming. If you see the movie, reason for that, of course, Tommy Hall, huge philosopher behind the whole thing. Pro LSD, uh, pro jug, like he said on the Dick Clark Bandstand. We're all heads. Stacy Sutherland. Guitar player, really rock and roll extraordinaire. One of the early guys who could really turn it up in rock and roll, but unfortunately prisoner to not only bad, I don't know, just bad karma, but bad attitude, bad drug habit, and really kind of got drugged down. Bad women, all the way around. And then you had some of the other original players too, which a lot of these guys are still living, but those are really the ones that have passed. Um, the writers of these songs were mostly Stacy, um, and actually mostly Tommy, and then you had Rocky and Stacy as he really needed it. Rocky at the time, part of this time was out of commission. Some of the time he was in commission. You'd have to read the book and just kind of decide for yourself. But they made some revolutionary music, and when you listen back to it, it's really a lot of it's hard to believe. As people like me who obviously didn't buy this when it was first out, but when you hear it now, you think about the balls and the people to put out records like this, where you're putting out the back cover of which is talking about LSD and talking about all these different things, and they I guess at the time kind of on the fence, legally, as it before it wasn't illegal, it was kind of a dangerous thing to play with, and then you hear the abuse. We talked about it in the other video. I mean, they had policemen throwing them off a bridge, blindfolded at night, wrecking their lives when they find a stem and a seed and stuff in their car. I mean, just insanity that they had to deal with, and it sounded like they had pretty good pop support at the time. I mean, it sounded like these places that they played in Dallas and these places that they played in Houston, that they drew good crowds there. So they were really popular. Went out to the West Coast and signed to this record company, as the whole deal. An international artist, and well, from those records, I was able to find 10. There's probably more than this, but this is a pretty slim catalog, proverbially, to all the other ones that we'll do in this. But let's get started here. Uh, at number 10, I'm going to hit the first record, The Psychedelic Sounds of, and number one, with You Don't Know. And this is this is one of the peaks, I guess, vocally. And if you're going to notice, I'm probably more tied into to something that, things that I don't know, is are maybe more vocal oriented or melodic in their catalog. They have a lot of different stuff, and some of the longer pieces and some of the things like that later on. I'm not really as I'm not really as crazy on, but that's my number 10. You Don't Know. Number 9 is from the first record, Tried to Hide. But you lied about it, and I always wondered about these lyrics. These lyrics are kind of strange, and as all their stuff is. But it's kind of a paranoid thought. In a lot of the other record is he talks about overcoming thing, but there's a lot of also response to stimulus, and tried to hide really. It's kind of, I guess, somebody saying that, whatever it is, face up to it's better. Number 8, the Magic Stacey Sutherland workout, Living On, from the last record, Bull of the Woods. Bull of the Woods is a difficult record, as you know, because of the production value, number one. I mean, a lot of it, as I explained, was recorded, even though it was recorded by, I believe, one of the producers was maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, they had somebody different. I remember. I can't remember the name, but I remember that I came through with it. But it's surprisingly, I remember I told you about this record with the weird horns and the weird sounds. It's just surprisingly amateurishly done, and I mean, it would sound like a record that somebody would have done, back in the '70s in some local band. I mean, it's got that kind of level of blunder and stuff, and some of the stuff. It's quite jarring. But anyway, Living On is a good one. Rocky's grinding on it, and Stacy's really got it. Keeps it going, and that's one with where the jug is still propelling the song forth. Number 7, another trip from the first record, and the first record seems to be all these little mini things. Roller Coaster. Roller Coaster is kind of he loves, they love, when you think about the title of some of these things, the Fire Engine, Roller Coaster, and some of these things, they like the stimulus. The stimulus thing was really the kick of the first thing. But Roller Coaster certainly was, a staple of it live, and one of the band's great early songs. Number 6 is probably the peak of Stacy. I'm talking about Nobody to Love, and off of Easter Everywhere. Just when he starts out that, just the sound of that. First of all, the sound that he got on that guitar was pretty different. I mean, it was kind of a really quelled, distorted, but muffed a little bit. I like the sound that he had on, especially on that song. It's really good. Song's a little directionless with the backgrounds, but that's okay. Number 5, of course, let's talk about Splash One. This is a combination between Clementine Hall and Rocky. Truth to be told, after reading that whole thing, I'm not sure that Clementine wasn't hooked up with Rocky as much as she was with Tommy. It's a strange thing, and who knows at the time, was the hippie deal, but they seem to be very, very, very close, and of course they're responsible for you don't know too. I think. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, which to me was one of the strangest explanations I heard about. I think it was Clementine again. It talked about when she was young, her they used to tell a story of riding down the road. Well, I wish I could just slip into somebody's house for a moment. And I don't know if they wanted to just see what they had or whatever it was, but to me, it was a bizarre thought, because I'm looking by, man, and I'm going by somebody's house. I mean, if you want to know somebody, I understand that. Is it sexual? Maybe is it partially sexual? I don't understand it, because I don't know. I don't have a desire of wanting to get to other people's stuff. I've got my own stuff, probably too much. And I feel enough guilt as it is being a Western citizen and having, 10 million records behind me, and instruments and recording equipment and consoles, and I don't know, materialism. It's good if you want to use those things. It's good to have them. But anyway, that's number 4. Number 3, talked about it before. Let me take you to the empty space in my fire and John. I love the way when Rocky is finishing, he could drive you out of your. He just kind of like fades away, and then he does that scream. Oh man, it's just. I talk a lot about it. I think I talked about this last time. Dia Moore, Janis Joplin got hers, but they said Rocky taught it to her. Number 2, the beautiful I've Got Levitation, one of the great singles ever, man. It's just Wow, 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 wow. Just something about the sound, something about the drumming. The drumming is fantastic. Like, it's just really, really good. I mean, wow. And the vocals, man, it just seems like it's swirling. It really does. You may have heard the Joanne Cope remake of that. Remake isn't too bad either. I think I heard that one actually before. I actually heard the original one that Rocky had, but my God, there's nothing like it. I mean, it's just got energy. I like the way the da da da. He really almost has like that da da da. She was just something almost like I saw her standing there, kind of a da 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 da. You know, hit the seventh when you're really trying to hit it hard. And while we're talking about singles, man, we talked about Limitation. Let's talk about number one. Another song before, while the original band at first was there. She lives, no day. She lives in a time of her own. I think to me that was the peak of the band musically. That was kind of when it all came together, and part of it was the recording. Thing was there. I mean, the first record, let's face it, was pretty roughly recorded. I think the second one was pretty well recorded when you think about the all three. And then the third one was, like I said, pretty much a disaster. I mean, the third one sounded like a garage band. But the first one, it sounds like they were trying to aspire to it. But I think in 1966, 67, whenever the technology was there, and I think it improved a little bit in that period of time. Because that second record, Easter, everywhere has a sonic depth that the tapes on, psychedelic bands, psychedelic sounds just does not have. And certainly Bowl of the Woods is not even worth talking about in the same breath. But anyway, that's it. That's my top 10. That's my top 10 13th floor elevator tracks, guys. If you have any thoughts on the list or have any thoughts about the band, please leave them there. Please hit the like button for us. Hit the like button for us, please. This is a short video, so maybe more of you will hear me say that. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe if you like our podcast. We want you around. We love to hear from you, and we appreciate your viewership here. We will catch you next time. Thank you very much.
Bust the car out and the fender was gone. Tommy said, cops can't see me 'cause my headlights aren't on. Well, I didn't want